Prime Minister Modi just arrives at Sydney. Live visuals coming in right there on your screens at the moment.
दौरे पर प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी अपने ऑस्ट्रेलियाई समकक्ष के साथ एक द्विपक्षीय बैठक भी करेंगे। वहीं वे ऑस्ट्रेलियाई कंपनियों के कई सीईओ और व्यापारिक नेताओं के साथ बातचीत। ऑस्ट्रेलियाई दौरे पर प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी अपने ऑस्ट्रेलियाई समकक्ष के साथ एक द्विपक्षीय बैठक भी करेंगे। वहीं वे ऑस्ट्रेलियाई कंपनियों के कई सीईओ और व्यापारिक नेताओं के साथ बातचीत भी करेंगे।
All right, you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has landed right now in Sydney, getting a rousing welcome in Australia right there. The Indian-Australian diaspora is also going to be hosting a grand community reception for Modi in Sydney. We're getting you the live visuals of how Modi is being received first here on India Today. You can see the live visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, his touchdown, his much-awaited touchdown in Sydney at the moment as we speak. He's right there in Sydney. You can see after his visit, and a very successful one, to Papua New Guinea, he's now going to be indulging in this opportunity to engage with the Indian community in Australia. Prime Minister Albanese has been looking forward to Prime Minister Modi's visit as well. This is a part of his ongoing three-nation visit. It's the third leg. There is a lot of Indo-Pacific talks that have been lined up across these three nations. This is the third leg of that particular three-nation visit of Prime Minister Modi. His journey to Sydney right here begins because he's just touched down in Sydney, Australia. He's gone there upon the invitation of Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. The Prime Minister is also going to be engaging with the Indian community, and you can see how he is being welcomed right there in Sydney. Prime Minister heads to Australia, touchdown in Australia. We're bringing you the latest on his touchdown to Australia, Sydney, right there. You can see on your screens how he's being welcomed in Sydney on your screens. Prime Minister in Sydney, Australia. We will get you more details on this particular. All right, Vishal Mogla is now joining us live for the latest. Vishal, the Prime Minister has just arrived in Sydney in Australia. We've been talking a lot about this and how sought after this particular meeting is between Prime Minister Modi and the Australian Prime Minister Albanese. And not just that, the Indian diaspora, I believe, is brimming with excitement to interact with Prime Minister Modi. Over to you.
Yes, indeed. I'm right now outside Jangila Hotel. The security has been beefed up. Earlier, we were allowed to go near the people, but now the police has told us that we have to move in the corner because the Prime Minister convoy could come here any moment. I'm just standing behind them, and you can see a lot of people have gathered here from Indian diaspora. They are here basically to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What I can tell you is that there's a huge excitement amongst the Indian diaspora. They are here to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and tomorrow would be a big mega event at the Sydney Olympic Park. And it is in the hub of the Indian community. There are thousands and thousands of Indian community people living in the Harris Park area, Parramatta area. So indeed, I can tell you is that there is huge excitement, and people have come out in large number to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Also, not only the excitement among the Indian diaspora, but also it's an important event for the Australian government. Although Quad meeting has been cancelled. That took place in Tokyo. But indeed, the Australian Prime Minister has already said that this is one of the most important tour of Indian Prime Minister, because the free trade agreement between India and Australia has to pick up. Now, Australia is trying to replace China and bring in India as a strategic partner to counter China. That's a very important step. Now, after the Labour government came in, it was thought that they might really try to lean towards China, but that's not taking place. They think that India is the most important strategic partner for them. And that is why this whole tour of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is one of the most important tours and most awaited tour here in Australia. What I can tell you is that already the convoy, the roads have been blocked. It's just a matter of minutes when Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be here. He's staying here at Shangri-La Hotel. Large number of people have gathered here. They're holding Indian flag, they're holding banners, they're welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and they're here to welcome the most
for
important
tomorrow's
and
event,
beloved.
Vishal, because this is a big rousing reception and welcome that he's been getting. If you could tell us a little about his agenda.
So tomorrow is a very important day. The day would start at around 9:30, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be meeting the top CEOs of Australia, and this will be top businessmen of the Indian community also at the consulate. Then there is back-to-back meetings, some other meetings, but the most important event is in the evening at Sydney Olympic Park at around 5 o'clock. But if you talk about the number of people who come here from different cities of Australia, people have come here from Perth, people have come here from Adelaide, people have come here from Tasmania. There are a large number of people who have come here from various cities of Australia and gathered here in Sydney to give an arousing welcome to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They love their leader, and that is what the love is showing. Indian diaspora is a very important community here in Australia. Now, this also sends a very strong message.
Reactions coming in from Sydney from the Indian diaspora, I'm being told. Let's dip into it and hear into what the Indian diaspora has to say.
How excited are you to welcome your Prime Minister?
Mama is my mentor, and I'm very excited to be here.
Australia welcomes you. Welcome. खुशियाँ हमें प्रगति देगी, आपकी जय जयकार हो मोदी. We are waiting for you. Australia welcomes you. मैम, आप क्या बोलेंगे? आप कितने एक्साइटेड है? अभी प्रधानमंत्री आने वाले हैं.
हम लोग बहुत एक्साइटेड हैं हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी से मिलने के लिए. लास्ट टाइम वो जब आए थे 2014 में, तो हम उनसे मतलब दूर से देखा था हम लोगों ने, और जिस टाइम हमें उनको मतलब बहुत नजदीक से मिलने को मिला, तो हम लोग बहुत एक्साइटेड हैं.
अभी आ रहे, कितने एक्साइटेड हैं आप?
बहुत खुशी है. हम बहुत बेसब्री से उनकी राह देख रहे हैं, और हम मराठी एसोसिएशन सिडनी की तरफ से हम लोग आए उनको वेलकम करने के लिए. तो सब महाराष्ट्रियन कम्युनिटी की तरफ से हम उनका स्वागत करते हैं.
So, ma'am, Prime Minister is arriving shortly. How excited are you? What will you say?
Very excited. प्रधानमंत्री जी चाहे सभी के दिलों पर राज करते हैं. And we are so grateful to him because our dream India will.
Patriotic song called Jayati Jayati Bharata Mata. Jayati Jayati Bharata Mata, Jayati Jayati Bharata Mata, Buddha Gita Nikhila Mata Vana Nirata Nata Jana Suhita, Jayati Jayati Jayati. I'm from Ahmedabad in Gujarat, and I'm very excited to see you.
Modi, Modi, Modi.